Hi, everybody. Do you believe that trying harder is going to get you the results that you desire? Do you believe if you just worked another 20 hours a week, if you just, worked weekends, worked nights, worked 7 days a week, if there were 8 days in the week, would you work? Would you work 24 hours a day? If you have that belief and that programming that if I just did another weekend, if I just pushed through and pushed harder, have you ever thought that there's another way? I wanted to take a minute to read this for you. So it's out of our thinking into results. It says, trying harder is not necessarily the solution for achieving more. It may not offer any promise for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it is a big part of the problem. That was definitely a big one for me. I was definitely from the belief that I was like, if I just did, 100-hour work weeks, or if I could do 200 hours a week, I definitely would push, go, go, go. So I'm definitely guilty of this thinking. If you stake your hopes on a breakthrough by trying harder than ever every day, you may kill your chances of success. This is a big belief system shift. Big. For anybody that's new or that's getting going, if you've been doing this a long time, then you definitely know you get what you think about most of the time. So, this would become a big belief shift for somebody that's, used to working 80, 60, 80, 100-hour work weeks and saying, if you just worked a little bit less and focused on your thinking, you might get more. You will get more. So we've been programmed as part of our belief system and our habitual behavior to take logical, progressive steps. So if I work 40 hours a week, I can work 60 hours a week. If I work 60 hours a week, I can work 80 hours a week. So this is where we want to get into the quantum leaps and start viewing our beliefs and making those fundamental core changes to our beliefs so that we can start leaping instead of going little baby incremental steps, which is good. You definitely want to have your base camps and, so you can celebrate your wins. And it is really important when you're just getting positive momentum in an area where you do, I know I sound a little bit contradictory, but you do want to start with smaller. But once you get that really good momentum going and you want to make a giant quantum leap, that's what we're referring to right now. So quantum leaps come without apparent effort. Let's think about that one for a while. And I'm sure a lot of you are like, I don't think so. So these are high velocity moves that carry you to dramatically higher performance levels without a time consuming struggle. And, I heard Myron Golden, he talks about being on the struggle bus. Ooh, I've had my time on the struggle bus. Quantum leaps can happen by applying the concepts that we start to learn. You get what you think about most of the time. Every challenge has a learning opportunity. And this is, again, where we talk about, every time we start to grow, there's, moments of discomfort. Where you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do all this. Am I good? I can't take any more of this. Well, you definitely can. And what I always remind myself of is that this discomfort I'm feeling is a sign that I'm growing. It doesn't mean that I'm supposed to slow down, retract, go back to whatever I was doing before. It just means that I'm moving in the right direction because I'm starting to get really uncomfortable. So always make sure you remind yourself of that your discomfort that you're feeling throughout your growth periods is a sign that you're moving in the right direction, not the wrong direction. So make sure you continue to push through that discomfort to get to where you want to go. So yeah, get excited about your opportunity to learn. And I just want to say for myself, this was a big one. I used to whine and complain. And I was like, I don't like this. I hate this. This is horrible. That was a big belief shift that I needed to go through. So if you're going through, a major leap and you're wanting to take big action and big steps, again, if you have to, put it on your board. Just keep reminding yourself that every time you're going through that discomfort, it's completely normal. You're growing. And if you can, start to get excited about it, because you know that that's your goalpost. When you start to get that discomfort and you're starting to, hit those challenges, it's just because you're moving through them and you're starting to grow. So yeah, be very selective about the people with whom you share your dreams with. Napoleon Hill talked about this a lot. Protect your dreams and goals. It's not that you can't include people, but just be choosy. Make sure that they're people that are going to truly encourage you. And, change frightens people. So if you're talking to your family members, and you're like, I've got this really great idea, I'm going to completely change my life. I was talking to another person, they were in university and they wanted to completely change their major. And when they went home to their family members, they were like, what? No. This was the path we decided as a family. This is the path you're going to stay on. And, it's not that you always want to be honest, but, just when you're starting to go through these things, these are big changes and it can really, really frighten people. So just make sure that you're taking responsibility and, moving people with you while you decide to make these changes. So the vast majority of people have no understanding that they truly do have the potential to multiply their effectiveness. So the longer you work with a mastermind, the more powerful it becomes. You came to believe that your answer is that there in the group. The group is really important. So that's what I'm saying. Make sure you're very careful. Pick people that are really positive, that are of a growth mindset, that, are used to this type of process. Because if you say you just go to your coworker at work, you're like, well, I'm going to quit my job and it's going to be great and I'm so excited. They might not understand, the process that you're in. So, just come to believe that you're going to create the results that you want. If it takes more time, that's okay. It just means that you've got more growth to do. Just know deep down inside that if you have the vision in your mind, you're going to see it in the world. Just be patient, enjoy the process, and enjoy the growth. And we'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.